everybody. Welcome to Transgurus. Again, we are here trying to tell something about today called self-expression. Something very important for transgender people. Anyway, so on the theme of self-expression, I give Jimmy today. Jimmy is first. Go ahead,
Okay.
Jimmy.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for this opportunity. And from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, I want to thank everyone who's been watching our videos. We all try. All this comes from our heart. You know, there's no agenda. There's no underlying motivation. I think all of us here on this panel are here because our heart and our soul calls us to be here. And today's topic is self-expression, excuse me, and what that means to me. So what's meant by self-expression? Well, it's simple. It's like how we express ourselves through our actions, through our choices, through our lifestyle, through how we wear our hair, the clothes we wear, how we walk, how we talk. It's how we live our lives. And for a trans person, for like myself, you know, I make conscious decisions on how to physically present and express myself to the world, to convey a certain message, to convey how I feel my outside reflects my inside. And through self-expression, I'm able to achieve that. And of course, you know, there's glitches in the system, you know, my voice and other things. You know, I'm a big human being. There's a lot of things that are outside of my control. But with what I have to work with, through choices that I make, I can express myself in ways that are congruent with who I am. And self-expression, it's also, it reinforces who we are. I know that I think we spoke about this in other videos. Even if I'm going to stay home and have dinner with myself at night, you know, I get myself ready for my own company. And that self-expression is also a sign of self-respect. So for a trans person, self-expression, and I know we spoke about this on a lot of these videos, kind of the information overlaps and the topics overlap. But does it take courage for a trans person to express themselves how they truly are? Sure. And I think we spoke about this on some other videos too. You know, it can start off with baby steps, you know, maybe growing our nails or growing our hair if you're a trans girl, or a trans guy would be the opposite of that. You know, so there's things that we can do to express ourselves, but not maybe going outside of our comfort zone. And that's another topic as well. But that's what self-expression means to me, Ella.
Thank you very much, Jimmy. I think it was really wonderful. And I think I really believe, and you're absolutely true. Self-expression is exactly what you said. And by the way, I just want to underline what you said about us being here for the community. What we do is not paid. It's just made out of pure love for everybody which support us. And I have to tell you, we have 22,000 followers, which is amazing, which is really quite amazing. I never expected that in such a short time we would be so many. Yeah. Ronnie, what about your self-expression?
Well, I could say this about my self-expression. I'm here talking on this video, expressing myself.
That's correct.
Oh, God.
And you also have to understand that self-expression can be seen through different lights. And it's so close to self-talk. Now, what self-talk to me is what goes through my mind is what manifests. Well, self-expression, if I don't feel good about myself because my self-talk is not in line with what I'm trying to deliver, well, then you have a conflict. And it goes back to, I'm okay, you're okay. If I like myself, you can like me. If I don't like myself, how are you going to like me? So when you're talking about self-expression, a lot of it is derived from your self-talk, because your self-talk is what's feeding what comes out in your expression. And my self-talk is like, today it's been very exciting because I love doing these Zooms and the meetings and getting together and maybe making a difference in somebody's life and maybe giving somebody a different way of looking at something, maybe being positive in a time that isn't positive. And my self-expression, I'll give you a best example. Posture is a direct relationship of self-expression. If your arms are bowed and your shoulders are bowed, your head's down, you're not going to look like this. I mean, what I'm trying to say is if your arms are back and your head's up and you got a smile on your face, that's self-expression. Well, if inside your self-talk is, I hate life, I hate this, I hate that, I hate everything, it's going to be real hard for me to actually put on a genuine smile and feel good. So with that being said, self-expression is us expressing what we feel internally, and being transgender, your authentic self is the battle that a lot of us have to work towards reaching. But in order to reach those goals, it's just like any other thing that you're trying to do. You're trying to put something together and they give you directions. You follow the directions and then you can put that chair together and hopefully have not too many pieces left over. But my point is, if your self-talk is not in the right place and you're trying to express yourself subconsciously, your self-expression is not maybe going to be what you want it to be. So if you want to have your self-expression, think about your self-talk. I do a simple little meditation, hyper-cybernetics, whatever you call it. I close my eyes. I take 3 to 5 deep breaths. I relax myself. I see myself going into a situation. I see the outcome the way I want it. I see everything the way I want it. And then I take 2 or 3 deep breaths. I come out of it. And my self-expression will then be what I saw in my subconscious that I wanted to deliver. So my self-talk that I went through an ordeal enabled me to do in an outward, not internal, but external. So basically, that's kind of what I got to say.
Thank you very much, Bonnie. I totally agree with you. If your inside is not much, if your inside is not correct, your outside cannot be correct either. Absolutely correct. Yeah, I mean, it is. It has to match. Matching is so important. So, and who's next now? Bonnie. Sorry, what did I say? Reggie.
Oh, yeah. Well, a lot of people confuse Bonnie and I. We look very much alike. And
how dare I confuse you? I know that.
Thank you for the compliment.
I just look like Bonnie with a little bit of a tan.
No, you don't.
So, anyway, hi, everyone. Great to be back. Every single living thing expresses itself. Trees, plants, animals. We human beings, however, are what I would say the most expressive. We have the ability to express ourselves in so many different ways. and in such dynamic ways. And so expression comes from like the thoughts that we have, the feelings that we have. It comes out in the way we communicate, the way we may want to sing something, the way we walk, our gestures, right now my hand gestures. But one of the most, I would say, provocative ways that we human beings express ourselves is by decorating ourselves. We human beings have decorated ourselves since the beginning of time. Since there have been human beings, we found ways to express ourselves through decorating ourselves. And some of us are more elaborate with it. Some aren't so, so expressive in that way. But every one of us decorates ourselves. Even the guy that just goes and gets a really short haircut and maybe he gets it tapered around the side, that's a choice. He's chosen to have that sort of haircut. So that's the way he wants to present himself to the world. Now me, I think we all will agree that I'm quite expressive in the way that I decorate myself. Okay. And even when I'm not going anywhere, like even if I'm home all day, when I wake up in the morning, I make a choice to do things to myself, to decorate myself, to express myself just for me. No one might even see me that day, but I want to get up and I want to, take that nice hot bath and wash and condition my hair and then bond pieces onto my head. And maybe I want curly hair. Maybe I want straight hair that day. Maybe I want blonde hair, red hair. Put some makeup on. Choose a particular outfit, top. A lot of times it's just bras, my bra and panties when I'm home, because I like to be comfortable. And if the truth really be told, sometimes it's just the birthday suit. But I still have
too.
But I still have my makeup and my hair done and nails and all of that. So that to me is, I think, a way that we human beings express ourselves in, like I said, such profound and provocative ways. And we do it first and foremost, I believe, for ourselves. I can speak for myself. I know I do it first and foremost for me. And what shows me that is, like I said, even on a day that I don't have to go anywhere, I still get up and I get myself the way I want to look and, and the way I want to express myself. So it's just a form of us bringing our outside feelings and thoughts, and maybe a statement we want to make to the world, and doing it in the physical. If we go back to primitive tribes, they found ways to do it. That was before makeup and all of that. They found ways. Maybe they put a mark on their face, like all the women would have a certain mark, or there's tribes that have in Africa with the big rings in their lip and in their ears, and all the different ways in Thailand. The giraffe women for centuries have been extending their necks with rings, and they call them giraffe women because their necks end up, being a bit longer, and with the rings it makes it even look longer than what it actually is. All of that, and much, much more are just forms of expression. So I'm going to close with this, and then I'll shut up, because you all know I can run my mouth, right? I really express myself, but I'll close with this. So I say all of that to say, express yourself, have fun, and don't feel like you have to be closed and locked in a social prison. You express yourself, because there's nothing like having the freedom to be able to express who you are. And I'll toss it back to Ella.
Thank you very much, Raj. By the way, You have been very modest today because, do you know what Raji means in Indian? Queen.
I know.
It is a way of self-expression too.
And actually, believe it or not, that's my birth name.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
I didn't even have to change it. Well, I shortened it. It's Rajendra, which means king, queen, prince, or princess of the heavens. So I use Raji because, it's just easier for people. But my parents, my parents gave me the name of Rajendra, so I didn't have to change my name. I guess they knew before I knew.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna tell a quick joke real quick. I saw there was a man and wife, and they just had a baby, and they asked the doctor, "Is it a boy or a girl?" And the doctor said, "We don't know yet, but it does have a penis."
I love it.
Yes.
Gender's in the head, not between the legs, right?
Absolutely. Anyway, Christian, what do you have to tell me about your self-awareness?
Speaking of boys.
Oh, wow.
Speaking of hot boys.
Yes, that's the right word.
Well, thank you for that, Raji, once again. Always giving the best compliments. But, your name definitely fits you, Raji.
Oh, thank you. Oh, you're going to get me blushing now.
You have such a, what is that word? It's not chivalrous, but it's almost like, an attitude of humbleness. And that, I think, is what real royalty is supposed to be like,
Oh, Christian, you're going to make me cry. Thank you so much. Thank you.
But my idea of self-expression, I'm really happy I had a chance to hear everybody go before me. I had my own thing, but then everybody else kind of kept on adding to mine. So I was like, oh, wow, I'm going to take it a little bit from everybody. So, I totally resonate with how Bonnie says that, what you feel on the inside is what you're going to project to the outside world. It's what you're going to attract. That's what I did in my own life. I see it firsthand. When I'm feeling, frustrated or something, and I continue to allow some situation in my life to, maybe frustrate me, and then I internalize that frustration as there's something wrong with me. That's a slight example of how people catastrophize things, and they allow their self-talk to be in a more energy draining, I guess, level. It's there's levels, how we spoke last week. There's levels to when you have positive emotions and you have positive feelings and you fuel your brain with that, versus when it's more negative and it's energy draining. So if I ever find myself entertaining those type of feelings where I personalize bumps in the road, and I take it, frustration, and I turn it into something that's wrong with me, or I say I can't do this, or I'll never be able to do that, or there's just too many things in my way that I won't be able to accomplish because I'm not smart enough or bright enough or strong enough, whatever it could be. There's a million things. And it doesn't only affect me, but I've also seen it affect, cisgender people and other trans people and anybody in the community. So we're not alone in this, struggling to figure out this this situation, I guess, with self-expression and self-talk. But I noticed that whenever I allow myself to just stay in the here and now, Bonnie was actually telling me the other day, if you're able to focus on exactly what you're doing, and anytime some noise comes into my mind, I just have to ask myself, like, what is my goal? Like, what am I supposed to be doing right now? And everything else that is paired with that, with the self-talk, like, I can't allow any other thought to enter my mind than what's going to allow me to get to my goal. So if I'm focusing on the goal itself, and then maybe it's tough to kind of explain this, but you want to fuel your brain with the positive stuff. Some of the things in my life that I can give an example about is working out. Like Bonnie said, I have goals to look a certain way, and the way I perceive myself. I guess it all boils down to like values, and like what do you believe yourself to, what do you want your goals to be? What values do you pair with it? And I want, for my transition, I want to have a certain physique. I want to have a certain look and a certain aesthetic and strength level and stuff. So, what's going to be helpful for me to get to that goal, more likely I'll get to my goal much easier and be more disciplined and consistent and happy and thrilled to do all the things that are necessary to work out. If my self-talk, if my mind is fueling my brain with, you can do this step by step. You're one step closer. Each day I write, I have some goals that I have to like review. So I keep telling myself like, this is what I want. This is what I'm going to do. And it kind of helps fuel my actions and stay consistent doing so. And then my self-expression, when I go to the beach, I feel really good about my self-expression because I have a nice, physique. And I don't know, I used to have man boobs, even when I had my surgery. And the surgeon my first surgery was by somebody that, they did a breast reduction. So it wasn't totally like, removing of all the fat. And I liked my surgery. I liked what I looked like, but at the same time, in my mind, I had a different idea. I had a more fine-tuned physique. So I would work out like an animal. I would go online and look up affirmations to help me motivate myself even further when times get tough. And when sometimes the self-talk, sometimes it just feels like a surface level. It's not totally a belief, but the more I keep, reviewing my self-talk and readjusting it, the closer I got to my goals, and the more of it being in, it's more of like a momentum. It's not so strained to do these things. It's not so hard. Sometimes people, I hear like, they're like, they don't believe this stuff works. It's because it's not an instant gratification. It's not like within their grasp. It's not so tangible. But if they just keep working it and chipping away at, every day you set a routine, you have a goal, you keep on reviewing that goal. You keep on reviewing the self-talk that is paired with it, affirmations. I listen to Louise Hay in the morning and before I go to bed, and she has a bunch of affirmations that help my self-talk and, saying like, I love you, and, you're a valuable, worthy person, and all these things that when I dwell on it and I keep on fueling myself, I can anchor that belief. And it's no longer just a frivolous thing. It's not an intangible thing. It's like I'm being what I'm becoming before I even am there.
Wow. Amen.
But sorry everybody for my brain. I'm scrambled right now. But even that, like, with ADHD, like I have lists and I write down affirmations, and I have a clear mind. I'm able to focus. I'm able to, I'm able to maneuver any distraction, stuff like that, those type of affirmations, and really visualize it. And, I was going to talk about everybody else's things, but right now I think I'm just going to cut it and maybe revisit it another day. But,
I want to add one thing. You remember last night, Zig Ziglar said, you're 97% more likely to achieve your goals if you write them down and you read them every day. 97%. I'm done.
Wow.
Yeah, and if your self-expression, I guess, is the main priority, write it the hell down.
Well, self-expression is right hand in hand with what we're talking about. Because if you, I don't know, if you're trans and you're trans female or trans male, whatever, if you're trans male and you got long hair, boobs, and paint your fingernails, your self-expression is not saying I'm a trans man. You're saying I'm a lesbian or whatever you're saying. I don't really know. Or a trans woman that has a beard. I'm sorry, the self-expression does not go along with what we're talking about. I'm done. Sorry.
Okay, Christian. Do you want to tell something else, Christian? Are you all right?
No, I'm done. Thank you.
But you know what? I agree with everybody because one thing is very important. The mirroring self-expression is nothing else than the mirroring of your inside out. You are expressing yourself to the world what you are. And I'm going to tell you a story of someone which is a transgender woman. And that transgender woman came very loud in life. And during her time in their dead self, she had a very big problems with self-expression. Why? Because she was hiding herself from the world. She could not express herself. There was a blockage because the inside did not correspond to what outside is. That woman transitioned, and well, the self-expression actually really started to come around. She wrote her first book. She got herself in an absolutely beautiful world. She wrote the second and the third book. And she's expressing right now in front of you, because that woman is me. I had many, many troubles expressing myself all my life because something was wrong. The day that I faced myself with my inside, the day that I did something which is, I'm a business person. So the day that I said I want to make a business case for myself, not for my company, for myself, which is nothing else than goals and affirmations, and to make a SWOT analysis about yourself. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Your opportunities, your threats? Then you start to understand yourself. And when you understand yourself, you can express. And of course, you express yourself. The world is beautiful. The world is gorgeous. There is so many wonderful things around the world that can be taken. But you can only enjoy them if you have an affinity to the world, if you can express yourself to the world, if you can add your wonderful part of yourself to the world. And that is self-expression from my point of view. the way you do things, the way you dress, the way you wake up in the morning, the way you go to bed, the way you travel. And self-expression is not only something you do to the others, sometimes it's only due to yourself. I love to be naked, by the way, Raj. No, you're not the only one.
I'm in the kitchen completely naked, honey, and the girls are flopping around, and I'm like,
Yeah, why not?
yeah. And especially when I sleep, oh my God, I don't like to have anything on. I like to be, oh my God, comfortable.
Well, everybody has got its own way of self-expressing. And as a transgender person, it's very difficult in the beginning to put really forward what you think is right until you get to that point where you feel at ease with yourself and things open. All the doors start to open. You become another person. That is another reason why it is so important for us to assume what we are and to be ourselves. And
But we evolve from ourselves. In other words, you got all this baggage for many, many years where you haven't transitioned. And then when you transition, you have to undo all those to find how you truly are because you've been conditioned by everything else.
Exactly. No, but it is very important that you find yourself. You cannot find anybody else if you not find yourself. That's the first thing you actually have to do, is to find yourself. And then everything comes automatic. Our self-expression, your inside comes outside. So that's as far as I am concerned. I hope you guys liked our little, very, very special meeting. Very sorry for sometimes I am a little. I'm getting old. Today I had a letter which reminded me that I have to enroll to Medicaid. So see what my age is. It's so as well a thing that tells. Oh shit! You know what? I forgot how old I was.
That's okay. Just be thankful there is Medicare and you can still be young. You know what I mean?
It just kind of, just puts you in a different perspective.
Yeah.
Everything in life is a perspective. And when you're going from self-talk to expression, some of those can be some really hard times, but you got to understand something. It can also be a lot of fun times. It's all about how you figure it out. When you were a kid and you were running and you played and you fell off your bicycle, you may have cried for a minute and you sat around and laughed about it. What I'm trying to say, it's the same thing when you're expressing and you're creating who you are, developing the real person. It can also be funny. You don't have to get hung up. So you screwed up. So you did this. Don't hang on to things. Stand here and now. Be happy. And if you're happy, your self-expression says the rest.